All right, the purpose of this video is to go through the features of the new 17212 electronic blower. When you first get the machine, after undoing all the packaging, you'll notice a couple of parts on the side. One of them is the ball catcher that mounts up here like this. There's a little set screw down on the bottom you tighten up. And when the balls come up, you push this button and the balls will continue to come up. The other thing I like to point out is that it comes pre-assembled with a little bracket and a little piece of wire that you'll see on top here. This is for an optional camera. And the machine does not include the camera. It's sold separately. But if you choose to buy that option, you would mount the camera on this bracket, plug this little cable in, and then you'll be able to attach a television or a video display that will show the actual ball calling process. First thing we'll go over is the side panel that has all of the connections on it. The first thing that you'll notice, of course, is the on-off buttons. There's two of them, a red one and a green one. The green one actually powers the blower motor, which will blow the balls around. The red one turns on the light inside the cabinet, and it also turns on the electronic features. We'll go over those in a minute. There's a fuse here. In case anything goes wrong, it'll blow the fuse. This is the connection for the RCA connector if you were going to plug in a display for the camera. The USB, or technically they call that a DB9 serial connector, which is that unit right there, is where the data cable plugs in that will drive the flashboard. So you want to make sure that's in, and you want to tighten it down. You don't necessarily have to tighten it down with a wrench, or some of them come with a screw head. It doesn't have to be super tight, but you just want to make it kind of snug so that it doesn't fall out in the middle of the game. You'll notice a USB connector. That is more for a maintenance issue. You won't have much call to use that. And you'll notice a little gold connector here where you can attach an antenna that comes with it. That antenna is used for a wireless function. If you want to do that down the road, that's another option. We're not going to dwell on that today. And that's pretty much the run through on the connectors. The power cord here, of course, you're going to plug into the outlet. All right, when you set up or have the machine set up and we begin to control or set up the programming, we're going to deal with the console here, which is in the back side of the machine. And the first thing you'll notice is that it comes this way. We're going to fold it out so it's on a little bit of an angle. There is a door up here for the balls to put in. When we turn on the light, it also turns on the electronics. And I don't know if you caught it in the video, but it said that it's version 283. So everything that we're talking about right now applies to the software in the system as version 283. What you want to see here, and this is normal, is that this machine is set up to play bingo, a 75 number bingo, and the JP0 means that the jackpot number is 0. We'll describe what that means later. So this is what we're looking for. Now we want to begin to start to set up some of the programming. Okay, once we've hit menu, it scrolls through a list of options. We can do game setup. There are some system settings and resume. We're going to talk about game setup in that section today. So once we've entered the menu key, we get a sub-menu of maintaining the game list, jackpot, countdown timer, flashboard screen, and then exit. The first option is where we would go to set up and maintain our game list. The second option is a jackpot number. This is a 2-digit you can set up. In the case of maybe you wanted to play a progressive and you had the bingo within so many numbers. So maybe you set it up as you have to bingo within 50 numbers. You would put 50 in here. The third option is the countdown timer. The countdown timer is a number you set up, obviously, for the caller to count down. This will affect every game of bingo. So every game of bingo will count down this number of seconds and then stop at 0. So it enables you to control the pace of the caller. Fourth option, flashboard screen. If you press that, the flashboard will flash a random pattern. It's more for just that flash. It may be something you might want to run before bingo starts, and it would go through sequencing on the flashboard. You press any key, you press 4 to start it, and any key will stop it. And then number 5 is the exit key to get out of this menu. In this next step, we're going to go to maintain the game list, which is option 1. Under that option, you have another scrolling sub-menu. The first one is to maintain the actual game list, which we have a separate video for, and we go into depth on how to do that. For the purposes of this video, we're going to talk about the other options, some of which are new to this software level. The first option is simply to turn the game list on or off. That's option number 2. And if you notice, it said game list was on. If I hit number 2 again, it tells me the game list is off. So you can simply turn it on or turn it off. And the reason why you might want to do that is if you just want to play bingo and you don't care about the whole game list, you would just turn the game list off. Then none of your program patterns are going to display. It's just for playing bingo. So we're going to turn it on because we want our game list on. The third option is to save a current list. And what that involves is once you have set up a game list for a given night, and we said game number 1, the winner is 4 corners. Game number 2, the winner is the letter X, and so forth. We would then go to option 3 here, and we would save the current list. When we do that, it's going to ask us for a number, and we're going to assign it game list number 1, and then enter. And it saves it. It says list number 1 is saved. Where this is nice is now, let's say we edit this game list to something completely different, and we want to save it to game list number 2. At that point, then, we can set up several different nights of bingo or several different sessions of bingo and save them to their game list. I believe the limit on game lists is 20, so you can't have more than 20 game lists saved. The fourth option is to change the game list, and when we do that, it's asking what list do we want to change. We'll say number 1, because that's the only list we have in there, and enter. And it's saying that it's turning to the game list, and at this point, we can edit that game. Save it to game number 1, list number 1, and we're good to go. The last option, of course, is 5, which gets you out of everything. And as I mentioned earlier, 5 backs you out, all the way out. So whenever you get in a jam or whenever you don't know where you're at, 5 will always back you out completely.